recording. First off, I just want to make sure, is everybody good with recording it? If I could get a verbal yes from everybody. Eric?
Yep.
Yeah.
Elsa?
Yep.
Yeah.
Girel?
Yep.
JC?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yep.
Girel?
Yeah.
All right, very good. So what I wanted to do with our senior day here is I wanted to take a little bit from what 2468 did with their first signing day. I think that's a really great initiative. And it made me realize that, like, man, we should do more to try to publicly acknowledge some of the great things that our seniors do. We talk about things obviously at our end of the awards banquet, but that's really like internal to the team. And I want to celebrate the things that you guys do beyond just with our team. And so I thought this would be a really great time to do it. Probably seems like the best time would have done it would have been in 2018 when we had a huge graduating class of our founding members. And the second best time would have done it to do it would have been 2019 when we had some really awesome seniors that pushed us as far as we've ever gone. But you know what? I'll take third best time where we're all home since mid-March with the coronavirus stuff going on. So happy to have everybody here. You guys are a great senior class to start doing this with, and I hope it's something we continue doing. So I'm going to start with our most recent senior to join the team. And so the person that joined the team most recently is Elsa. And so I want to talk a little bit about Elsa. She was new to our team this year. She joined in July of 2019. And like some of our other team members, I think she was primarily peer pressured into joining a lot by Erich. And I'm not sure if it was maybe Elsa or their other friend Vi, but I know that somebody, when they like filled out the form about joining the team, she said, well, Erich's not very good at the video stuff and I'm better at that, so I'd like to join to help out with the video stuff. And I just thought that that was really great. And Elsa has definitely done a phenomenal job with the video stuff. Elsa also has an older brother that was on the team, so Pearadox wasn't entirely blindsiding to her. I think she maybe had an idea of what it was that she might be getting into with joining. And I'm glad that she did. Noe should have gotten you over here sooner, but I guess other things kept you busy. So Elsa brought, as I said, an incredible amount of knowledge about video recording and producing videos to our team. She wasn't somebody that a lot of people saw at meetings unless she was actively shooting video. But she did a ton of work outside of our meetings. We've got pictures of her at like Disneyland or Disney World, whichever one, working on making video for our chairman's video. So if you haven't gone to our YouTube page, should check it out. We've got videos from her for our chairmans, Princess with Power Tools, both a promo video of our Parents Night Out and a recap video of the Parents Night Out. And I think one other thing, what was it? And our reveal video, duh. And so even though she'd only joined for a period of time, she's already got a ton of videos that she produced for us that we were able to put on YouTube, and they are top notch. So if you haven't seen them on YouTube, please definitely go and check that out. And really, like, I think Elsa's kind of been a role model for me in the sense that, like, she was working from home long before it was cool. When she wasn't at meetings, she was making stuff for us back at her place. So that was really great. And just the amount of stuff that she produced for the chairman's video was really incredible. I think that's our best chairman's video we've ever had. And so I'm excited that we have it to baseline things for the future and kind of give us some ideas about how we might want to do some of that stuff in the future. So Elsa, thank you for joining our Pearadox family this year. And I'm happy to say that she's going to be a computer animation major at Sam Houston University. So Pearadox to Sam Houston State University. So thank you, Elsa. All right, the next most recent person to join our team was JC. JC joined in August of 2019, which I guess is actually after, man, I actually got that backwards. I wasn't paying attention. I just looked at some of this stuff. But JC joined our team and he was very quick to impress us in the build season last year. I gave him and a couple of other students a very broad and very vague requirements of what it was that I was wanting something to do. The 2019 game piece was a big flat disk. It was a hatch panel. And I kind of had in my head this concept of, okay, we want something that when it's pushed in one direction, it pulls down on it and clamps it down. And when it goes the other way, it pushes it out. And again, I told him and some other students some very vague things, no idea what that may look like or how it may function. And I tried to sketch something up and I was like, I don't like any of this. So why don't you guys just mess around with some things and try to physically make something that kind of does it. And then we'll, design it from that of what we get together. And JC really impressed me. Basically, by the end of that day where I gave him that task, he had more or less a sketch of what our final design was going to look like, which was a rack and pinion model, rack and pinion design, what was eventually became known as the moth, since it kind of looked like a moth or a butterfly when it actuated. Um, and the other thing that was really impressive about all of this is that he did this, or like he came in one day with a whole CAD model of it, having never done CAD before. I think he pretty much went home one night and taught himself CAD to try to get the sketches out onto the into a computer model. And he would probably tell you or admit that, like, hey, this wasn't the best CAD design or like the CAD model itself, because he just figured out a way to make the software do what he wanted it to do.
I learned
But
how to model, not how to constrain.
right. And so JC did a lot of good stuff there. And then he took that knowledge into this year, and did a lot more CAD that I think he'd probably be a little bit more excited about to show other people. But yeah, the design that he got together for last year's design was really great, and really incredible to have a new student just come on board and own that design, come up with a whole thing at home, do it in CAD, and help us get it built. And this year, when he was working with the climber, he brought that same kind of energy together too. But this year, I didn't ask him to do anything real crazy with broad, no idea what this could look like design. So hopefully, he got a little bit more of a normal process of engineering there. So let's see. The JC is going to be going to study mechanical engineering with a possible double major or minor in robotics, and which can only be as a double major or a minor at Carnegie Mellon University, CMU, which, as far as I can tell, might be the most boring of all of the logos that I have to show today. So we'll have to talk about who might could go to Carnegie Mellon and help them out some other time. But that's very exciting to have somebody at CMU. CMU is a great college. If you haven't done any research about their robotics institute, if we have any of our team members listening to this later, definitely go check that out. CMU is a great college, and you should be very excited to go there. All right. So the next student that joined our team, going backwards in time here, was Erich, who joined in the June of 2018. And Erich's a great example of the range of students that we can really benefit from having on Pearadox, and different ways that people can contribute in very meaningful ways. I'm not exactly sure who or what pulled Erich onto Pearadox, but I'm glad it did.
It was Sara. Sara's mom talked to my mom talked to me.
Okay. Yeah, and so I was going to say, I know Erich has an older sister that's in programming, and so it seemed like maybe he was joining to check out some things like that, relating to programming or engineering or STEM or things in general. But I think when he joined in 2018, we still had a student that was also very big in the A part of STEAM with arts, and I'm not sure. Maybe Erich was looking at the math and the M and just reads it as marketing instead. But Erich has done a phenomenal job with all the marketing and arts and just a bunch of graphic stuff for our team this year, especially after we had a student that graduated in 2019 that had done all of our imagery stuff for the previous 4 years. It was really great having Erich come over and seamlessly take over keeping up our imagery and branding and marketing and all those things that Pearadox has been doing. In particular, if you're not aware, Erich was the original creator of Perry. And so he's leaving a lasting impact on our program as the original Perry artist. He's really brought it to life in a bunch of ways that, like, I would have never initially guessed. We've got our mascot all over the place in various ways, and I really have no idea what we're going to do without our Perry artists. We're going to have to find some way to have that legacy carry on. And for better or worse, we've gotten, I think, most of the artwork from Erich related to Perry. And his contributions don't stop with Perry either. He's responsible for many of the graphics on our team, including our t-shirt, our button designs, our comic strip for the STEM Savvy magazine, and coloring book pages, and all sorts of great stuff. Yeah, so we've gotten most of the artwork from Erich, some of which is quite terrifying or interesting. And I'm not sure if the world is ready for all of the artwork that Erich's created for Perry, but maybe one day will be prepared to see some of the great things that Erich does.
Oh, absolutely not.
So I'm excited about all of that. And one of the things that I really wanted to share was I got a quote from his mom since she was working and wasn't able to come here. And she just sent a message saying that Pearadox has really helped him discover, Erich discover his talents that he was not aware he had. His confidence has grown exponentially in the last year, and this is largely because of Pearadox. And I'm really excited to see kids coming in through our program and having that happen to them, especially in a atypical major or interest such as marketing or advertising or branding and all that kind of stuff. So thank you, Erich, for all of your contributions, and I'm very proud of you for going to major in marketing and potentially a minor in design at Iowa State University. Go Cyclones, part of the Big Ten. That's my home ground there. All right. So next up, we've got Girel. Girel joined in June of 2017. Girel and Sara kind of joined together. They've been, I think, attached at the hip for a long time. It seems like they're good friends, and where one goes, you can typically see the other. Girel in particular has had a very big impact on helping us document and present for our team. Girel's really played an instrument role in helping our team develop the chairman's speech and essay over the past few years. And she's been extremely diligent with making sure that the efforts are well documented. The presentation material was attention grabbing and that we had good detail in it, and various ways that we could try to help make sure that the material would really stick in the judges' minds. And also a fun thing about Girel is that she was probably at a lot more meetings than plenty of our team members and mentors would even know. I even went back and looked at it, and she averaged two meetings a week. But if you don't like peek in the chairman's room, Girel's really good at just like sneaking right on into that chairman's room, undiscovered, and then sneaking on out at the end of the meeting. And so she would go in there and really just help us knock out some great documentation and essays and planning our speech and just ways to make it stick. So let's see, where am I at here? But we're very thankful for her showing up to our team 3 years ago and giving us a chance to get the robotics thing worked out. There's plenty of other clubs or activities that I think you would have been well suited for as well, and I'm very thankful that you decided to help us as what it was that you decided to do. And so with that, I want to say that, Girel, I'm very proud of you for going to major biomedical engineering at the University of Houston. So go Cougs. It's going to be nice to have you local. Maybe we'll see you again before too long. So moving on is going to be Sara, who also joined in June of 2017. Sara's been a very strong voice for our team, especially in the chairman's room over the past 2 years. She stepped into the spotlight to represent our team at multiple competitions, multiple demonstrations. Anytime we had a VIP, we knew that we could pull Sara into it. She's a very comfortable speaker. If she was ever nervous, you would probably never know. She's just so comfortable speaking and knows a lot about the team inside and out. The chairman's interview process is very intense, but her hard works both years have paid off. In particular, with winning the chairman's this year, both Girel and Sara had a huge impact on that. She put a great deal of effort into working on the essay with Girel this year, and turns out that this year in particular, that was very important since the whole chairman's award was judged virtually just based on the essay. So Sara and Girel's efforts on the essay is just really important and to the team's success this year. And we're excited that we won the district chairman's award at Pasadena. So with that, I want to say that, Sara, I'm very excited and proud of you for not only majoring in biomedical engineering, but also for getting the Posse Scholarship, which covers the tuition and a little bit of room and board, and being one of about 10 students of about 1,500 students, I think, in the Houston area that's chosen for that. So that's really incredible. Definitely deserves recognition for that as well. And so congratulations, Sara, for going to A&M. All right, thank you. All right, so the last student that I'm going to talk about here is the one that joined longest ago. Drew joined in September of 2016. And he actually even also eventually got his sister to join just in time for build season her senior year in January of 2018. But between Drew being on the team for the longest amount of time and being the driver, where I got to work with him as a drive coach, I probably have an unfair amount of things to say about Drew, but I'll try to keep it short and to the point. But I do want to cover a lot of really great things about Drew over the past 4 years having him on the team. One thing that I'll say for sure, too, is that I think everybody's seen that I can be emotional in various different ways, sometimes in a more angry way when the team's not doing what we need to do. Drew's also probably been one of the few students on the team that seen me be more emotional in the not angry way, where it's more just like very, crying type of deal. In particular, just at our the World Championship last year, we had a really great drive team together. And just that's an experience that, like, I think me as a coach, I really look forward to being able to have those types of moments with students, just looking back and reflecting on a year and being really proud of it. So when Drew joined in 2016, he joined where there was a very large class, which was the class of 2018. So there were a bunch of juniors on the team when he joined his freshman year. And it meant that at times during his freshman year, it was very difficult for him to get incorporated into projects with big kids, so to speak, kind of kicking him out or not necessarily like doing a great job of incorporating him in. However, that didn't deter Drew during his freshman year. He still was always right there trying to get in wherever he could and help out with whatever task it was, which meant that by his sophomore year, he was already well established as a leader on the team. And so even his sophomore year, with a senior class of about 25 students, he was voted as team captain by his peers, which I think is a really great accomplishment. Also, as many people know, Drew is an Eagle Scout, which I think something that's really cool is that instead of just building a bench or a table for his Eagle Scout project, which would have utilized skills that he's refined within Pearadox and probably had before coming to Pearadox as well, he raised over $800 to purchase robotics kits for FLL teams, and he led some of his peers in hosting a workshop to start some FLL teams in an inner city Houston school. Which isn't an easy thing to do. Raising money is difficult, but then also hosting workshops and trying to set them up for success so that they aren't just a one and done team, 1 year and done team is difficult. And Drew did that, and I believe that they've even continued and started new teams since that. So Drew's got a legacy that he's left in inner city Houston school as well. Drew also made his AP research project about the effects of high school robotics on the STEM gap between genders regarding tool use, which I think is kind of interesting to see because Drew's been a very great leader. He's involved very technically in a lot of robotic stuff while still showing how he values the culture and operations aspects of our team. And he does a good job of whenever he can of highlighting their efforts and successes when he's given him that opportunity. And he also does a great job of leading by example. Both students and adults, if they're given a leadership position, oftentimes they want to treat that as a way to get other people to do the jobs that you don't like doing. And Drew does a great job of inspiring others to do those tasks by bringing a good energy and excitement and doing it alongside of his peers, whether it's cleaning or organizing, or if it's the exciting task of assembling a robot. There are plenty of times that you could see that we'd have some freshmen organizing some bolt bins or trying to move some things, especially with all the moves that we've done over the last couple of years. And Drew would be right there alongside him doing that painful task with them. And I don't remember if it was him or somebody else that told me a story about how with Boy Scouts, when it came to doing dishes, he helped transform it into a task that no one would want to do to a group that several people would do by just being like, all right, let's go do these dishes. And he would lead by example with that. And so people weren't going because they wanted to do the dishes with them. They were doing it because they wanted to do something with Drew. And so I think that's a good way that Drew's led by example. And we saw that plenty of times with the robotics team. And things like these are really the things that make Drew stand out amongst his peers. He doesn't just have good ideas of what might be cool to do, but Drew's always like tried to finish them and follow through with them. It's really easy to have good ideas and get them started. But I've been really excited to see Drew follow through with them without a mentor having to push him, without somebody having to remind him to get them done. And so that's been really great. And there have been very few things that I think are really owned by just a student to the same level that Drew owns the projects that he's done. And I'm hoping that that's something that's caught on amongst our teammates. And just knowing the way that various team members look up to Drew, I think that that's something that's true. Last couple of things I'll say about Drew is that he was our driver for the last half of 2018, all of 2019 and 2020. It's a lot of pressure to take on, and he took it very seriously. In particular, in 2018, he really struggled with feeling like he was letting his team down at various times. But by 2019, he managed to kind of get that under control and better manage that overwhelming feeling and really use it to his advantage because he used that drive of not wanting to let his peers down as a way to motivate himself and really focus on it, while not letting it bog him down in a aspect of, if you make a mistake, feeling like everything's over, or you let your peers down, just using it to fuel yourself. He was also our Dean's List finalist at the district champs level, which is really exciting. It means he got to compete for the award at the World Championship. And it's the only award in FRC for an individual student. And so that's a really exciting thing. And to win it at the district championship level, not just a district event, is awesome. And thanks to that distinction, he got offers for scholarships at different colleges that he decided not to go to. But he did decide to go to to study mechanical engineering with a possible minor in computer science, go computer science, at Texas A&M University. So we got another Aggie. We got two Aggies.
You go.
That covers everything that I wanted to say about y'all. Y'all have been a fantastic senior class. I'm really sorry that this year's turned out the way it has for y'all with regards to not being able to go and do the things that we put all that hard work into. And I just want you guys to know that, like, even though we kind of left at a point where we were in that hardworking mode and okay, the payoff's going to be there, I want you guys to know that from my perspective, there's still that payoff, because all of our underclassmen got to see the hard work that you guys put in. They got to see what kind of things that you guys do. So there's still a payoff, and I want you guys to know that I value all of the time that you guys have put in various different ways, and all the things that you've brought to Pearadox. And we'll have to see how some of our underclassmen step up and fill those shoes that y'all are leaving. So at this point, I'm happy to turn it over to you guys. Tell me what I missed, what I messed up, or if there's other things that you guys just are really excited about that you want to share. I'll open it up.
I guess I'll go first. So yes, like sometimes, okay, for me being a computer animation and more of an artsy major, I kind of look out of place in Pearadox, if I could say. But Erich, don't do that. So yeah, Erich is definitely the one that pushed me to be in Pearadox for sure. Randomly met him one day in a computer lab, and he's like, "You should join it." I'm just like, I don't know. But yeah, I should have joined sooner, but then like a year ago, after my brother graduated, but I didn't because I wanted to focus more on doing like making videos and like ETV at Dawson, and I was completely such a band nerd, like very much consumed by that life and everything. But otherwise, yes, I joined this year, and I think I've produced more videos I have in 3 months ever in my life. Combining with like advertising, but it wasn't that hard. It's not hard, but like advertising, blah blah blah. And yes, I did work 3 days at Disney and Universal to make the chairman's video. I wish it was judged, but thank God it wasn't judged because it wasn't at its full potential. And then yeah, and then I'm gonna be majoring in computer animation, and my goal is eventually to maybe work for Disney or work for Pixar. But ultimately, my goal is for like a short film or like a movie. I want to see my name in the credits. That's my goal, really, in life.
I can't wait to see you get there. You do a great job of having a vision and bringing it to life. So I can see that with the videos that you've done for us, even if they're just 30 seconds, being able to convey a message very succinctly. I can't wait to see you do that. Also, I want to say that I want to clip a video or clip the video of you saying I should have joined sooner, and that just needs to be in all of our Pearadox advertising.
Congratulations, your propaganda. I think we should follow it like just for structure in the same order. So JC, if you want to say something.
Yeah, I think that also I share that same feeling of like I should have joined sooner. Because for me, it was Drew who made me join. It was like every single day in computer science class with Mr. Bailey, he'd always be like, anybody gonna join robotics now? But it was definitely like, once I did join, I gained like so much from doing robotics. And I see now that I'm a senior and I'm leaving, there's still so much that I could have learned, like with electrical or even some of the non-technical stuff. And I just see that like if I had joined earlier, I could have learned more. But even with that in mind, like what I have learned from joining has really been like a big a big driving factor in me choosing to do engineering. It's definitely shown me like how much like engineering can really be very fun, and then also like how we are applying stuff that we learn in school into like a much more practical way than I would have otherwise. It's been a very good experience for me.
Well, I'm thankful to hear that, JC. And I'll also kind of relate back to what you're saying with joining earlier and some of the other culture and operations aspects of our team. We talked to one of our alumni recently that is at Lamar University, and him and some of his peers were starting up a robotics team or club or something. He's like, man, I wish I would have paid more attention to what you and the mentors were doing to try to make the team run functionally, because it's a lot more than just building the robot aspect of it. So I'm sure that you've also been picking up a lot of those things, and whatever extracurriculars you do, you'll be able to take some good knowledge with you there too. I'm glad that you joined. I wish you would have joined sooner as well. You're a bright kid, a smart kid that brought some good design stuff to us. So I'm glad that we had you the 2 years that we did.
Or also one other thing, I definitely say to like anybody else who's watching, like, don't be afraid to just dive into something that you have absolutely no idea like what you're doing at that moment. Because I found personally like the times where I've learned the most are the times when I've like known the least. Sort of where you like have to like fight through that fog of not knowing really anything you're doing. But it's that time when you're like fighting through the fog that really makes it like, I feel, the experience worth it when you get to the end and you get to see like the finished product on the robot actually working. And that's also been a very good experience for me.
All right, so I also had a very similar experience to that with when I first joined Pearadox back in the summer of 2018. And I just kind of fell in love with the place, and to the point where I kind of wasted the first 2 years of high school. I didn't do anything. There was no extracurriculars. There was nothing. I didn't do anything with that time. And I wish I had at least done something with Pearadox, or at least another club before, I was halfway done. But once I joined Pearadox, I did, like Coach mentioned, I did develop a love for marketing and advertising that I didn't really know I had. I was planning to go into architecture, actually, a rather engineering heavy STEM field. And then y'all ruined it by showing me how much fun it is to make posters and marketing and buttons. So I remember back during the round robin, me and Kaylee had like this speech thing where we were actually inverted. She wanted to do something outside the STEM field, and then Pearadox drew her in, and then I wanted to do something in the STEM field, and then Pearadox, I don't want to say pushed out, but redirected my path in life to something that honestly is, I'm going to have a lot of fun with marketing.
We connected you with your passion.
Yes. And also just giving me all these projects has definitely developed my artistic skills way faster than any art class ever has. Constantly getting projects with parameters, deadlines that I don't follow, and expectations has definitely given me like a glimpse into the real world of what working for clients is going to be like. And I've had a few different clubs and organizations ask me for things, and this one has definitely been the most positive experience of making the same thing over and over again is not fun. And you guys didn't do that to me. You guys gave me a plethora of different options whenever I was making something, and it was just a very good experience working at like a smaller level compared to a giant corporation. And that's what I plan to do with my life. I plan to quiet, Julia. I plan to join a advertising or marketing firm and just continue working on a project basis. And my entire life is essentially going to be group projects, and I am excited.
As for me, if Erich is done, I want to say that me and Sara are not conjoined to the hip. We are, in fact, two separate people with separate ideologies and everything.
I hung out with y'all yesterday. I literally did. I don't think you guys moved without 3 feet of each other.
Yeah, Gerbil, we should.
No. No. Okay, but I wanted to say that for me, I kind of felt Erich's sentiment of like, I feel like I almost kind of wasted the first 2 years of high school because I wasn't involved in like a club or anything, and I was just kind of floating around. It's like first year I was in band, didn't really enjoy that. Second year, recovering from the trauma of band, and then third year I was like, okay, let me actually get into Pearadox. And I think what I most liked about Pearadox was like working on the essays and stuff. Was that it maybe like I'd always had a passion for writing, but I always felt like it wasn't useful. Or like other people in my family are like engineers and stuff like that, and they can like do things that I could see like more tangibly, solve and fix things. But for me, I think Pearadox really like empowered me to like write and be able to impact, the team and win the chairman's award, So I think that's what Pearadox helped me do is like actually think like, hey, my passion can actually do something. Like it's not useless to be able to write and stuff like that. So I'm grateful for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I just want to add on to that too. Unfortunately, you'll probably continue to see it the same way too, where if you're writing on something or you're working on it's all behind the scenes stuff, and it's easy to get missed. And so that's why it doesn't look like such a tangible thing, even though it still is very tangible and hopefully should be very rewarding to see the outcome of what that looks like. You did a great job bringing a lot of that stuff to our team. And I think it's something that probably a lot on our team don't even know how much you and some others did with all the writing and the formatting and how do we present ourselves. It's very easy for a lot of that effort and work to go unseen. So thank you for doing it. And I'm glad that you also see it as a rewarding aspect of your passion and that you see the benefits for it because it's absolutely there.
Well, I guess it's my turn. So yeah, I pretty much share a lot of the same sentiments as the others. I really wish I would have joined earlier. I did come like once during the heat of build season in like my freshman year and like 2017 year, and then I was like, let's not, because it was just kind of intimidating to me. So I just kind of waited till the summer and I joined afterwards. But I'm so glad that I did join. Even if it was after build season, it was a little bit slower. It was a nice little intro that I got. So Pearadox has been amazing. It's been a great impact of, my whole senior year. I feel like the way I always like think of Pearadox is it's kind of like, I don't know, I don't want to like say like a battleground, but like it's kind of like the battleground without really the war or the consequences, because it's like it trains you for like the STEM field. I feel like I'm more ready to go into the STEM field now, and I'm one of the things I'm most proud of on Pearadox is being able to like influence change. Like it's been such a great medium to do that. I'm super proud of like being able to take part in the initiatives that we have, like, STEM Savvy and all that, because it feels like that's something that's real that I'm doing to like make the world better. And so it just makes me feel it empowered me, and I'm excited to go into college and continue that. So that's probably one of the greatest feelings that I've gotten from being on Pearadox. And then one of the things that I'm also really grateful for, you were saying earlier, Coach, how like I seem like I'm like not nervous to talk to people, but that was so not true. Yeah, I remember I go back to 2019 year, whenever I was first like being a chairman speaker, and we would be in like the chairman's room practicing Q&A with Kara. And she's so intense. I feel like it's scarier to practice Q&A with Kara than talking to like a congressman, honestly. But
you're trying to impress Kara, so yeah.
Yeah, so I learned so much on how to like speak and how to present the team, something that I really care about, and like do it with pride and not scared, because it's something that I'm passionate and I care about it. So why should I be worried to talk to someone else about that, And so I feel like I just got a lot of great speaking skills, and just I feel better at approaching strangers in general. So that's a great life skill that I'm so happy that Pearadox gave me. So I'm just I'm really glad to have been on this team. It's been, I think that I know my high school experience wouldn't have been the same. It's I feel kind of sad that my senior year is ending this way, but I have so many great memories from high school, and largely some of those are from largely most of those are from Pearadox. So even though it's kind of sad to end this way, I'm super content and happy. I know that if I'm ever sad, then all I have to do is think of a memory on Pearadox, and I'll just smile and be happy again. So I'm really grateful to the team and to everyone, all the mentors, for having this team and all the 3 years I put into it.
All right, I guess I'm up. I cannot say the same thing as everybody else because I think I joined about as quickly as I could.
I knew he was gonna say it. I knew it.
But yeah, I've had a lot of really good times on Pearadox, and you know, I think about every year. I think I was probably I think my first year I was one of the top 3 kids in hours, and I think from there I was the #1 kid in hours each year after that. And thinking back, I can't think of a time where I would better spend those hours. Just all the connections and opportunities and things that I learned over the 4 years really had such an impact on my life. And it's just so much more than the medals that I've gotten. It's about the friends that I've made along the way. I look forward to keeping in touch with everybody that I've met along the way. And probably my favorite thing about graduating is thinking about coming back at kickoff and, you know, seeing everybody again, getting to see the game and different things like that. And it really makes me happy to, I don't know, just happy to have had the opportunity to be on Pearadox for every year of my high school and learn something new each year and step out of my comfort zone and really be comfortable being an engineer.
Very good. Well, thank you everybody for your time, and not just today, but of course over the past several years, whether it was, you know, the most recent year or all 4 years. For anybody else that is listening to this, one thought that I'll kind of close with too is even if you join late, you know, late is better than never. But also sometimes if you would have joined earlier, if you joined your freshman year, maybe you just wouldn't have been ready for it either. Maybe you joined in, maybe you would have been too intimidated and then walked away and never looked back at it. So it's not always a bad thing if you kind of like go and look at it and come back to it later, or if you're not introduced to it later. It's funny how a lot of times those things end up working out just right the way that the timing goes. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I want you guys to be able to get to your dinners and whatever else it is you may be doing. I'm hoping to share a lot of these things again in a smaller, more condensed format at our awards banquet in a couple of weeks. I've got some good memes coming for you. So.
Oh dear Lord.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a good one. Congratulations on your graduation, and I can't wait to see y'all as alumni come back.
Thank you. Bye, all.
All right. Bye, guys.